In this video, we'll explore how Google Meet can transform the way you connect and collaborate with your students or colleagues. First, let's get into how we can access Google Meet. You can access Google Meet through your waffle and select Meet, or by going to meet.google.com. If you have a scheduled Google Meet, you can access that Meet through your calendar by heading to your waffle, selecting Calendar, and clicking on the event. Once you click on the event, you'll see Join with Google Meet. Let's head back to our main Google Meet page to generate a meeting. As we can see here, we have the option for meetings and calls. If you have contacts already saved in your Google Contacts, you can call them here, or you can schedule a meeting. When we click on New Meeting, we have the option to create a meeting for later, start an instant meeting, or schedule a meeting in Google Calendar. If you have a meeting already scheduled in your calendar, it will appear in Google Meet and you can click on the event and join when the host is ready. A new meeting is for when you don't have one already scheduled, and you can generate a new meeting by selecting New Meeting and Start an Instant Meeting. By doing this, we will open up a Google Meet room for anyone that you need. You can also generate a meeting by using a meet code or nickname. This is useful with recurring meetings or activities. For example, you can have the code name Google Training and share it with participants and allowing them to join with the direct link. So if I have a Google training or need to provide assistance, or for maybe an evening book club, we can generate a meeting by using the same code. We'll type in the code that we want to use and then hit join. We can now see the name of our Google Meet, which is Google Training, and we can join now. And it'll say your meeting is ready. We can add others, copy by the link, or again, just share out the code Google Training. Creating a code generates a meet link, just like when you schedule a meeting or start an instant meeting. You can copy the meet link and share it via chat or emails to invite others. This is very similar to when you create an instant meeting. Let's go ahead and start an instant meeting now and walk through some of our settings and share options. Once you're in your meeting, you're going to see over on the bottom left-hand corner the Meet link. You can add others by selecting Add Others and inviting them by using their name or email. You can simply type in their name, and as you type name, you'll see the results at the bottom, and you can select for as many as you need. You can also have people join by their phone by selecting Call and entering their phone number. If you don't have the number saved, you will just have to enter the number and then hit call. If you add people by entering their name or email, they will get a notification to join your meeting by their email address. I find the best way to invite people is to copy this link here and then send it in chat or send it in an email to join the meeting. For us that use Outlook, you can take that Meet link and drop that in as location, and then anyone with that Google Meet link can join. Now that you're in Meet, let's go through some of the settings and icons at the bottom of the screen. First, we have our microphone. When the microphone icon is red, it means that your microphone is muted. Click on it to unmute. You'll see a blue circle move as you speak. If muted, the muted icon will appear. To switch microphones, click on the arrow next to the microphone and select your preferred device and to open any of the mic settings. By clicking on this drop down here, we can select which microphone to use. The camera icon next to the microphone icon shows whether your video is on or off. When it is red, the camera is off. Just like the microphone icon, you can select the arrow next to camera and select the camera you wish to use. This is also where you will add visual effects and adjust your background. So after hitting your arrow on your camera, we'll select Apply Visual Effects. Google has multiple backgrounds for you to choose from. You will need to turn your camera on to try out these different backgrounds. You can also upload your own background. We can do this by selecting Add Your Own Personal Background, and then click on the picture you'd like to use. So we now have this nice bluey background. And now as we turn our camera on and off, the background will still be there. The next icon allows you to enable and disable closed captions. Closed caption automatically transcribes any words spoken in the meeting on the screen. The icon looks like a CC inside of a square. We will now turn on closed captions. As we try out these different settings, feel free to open up another tab and pause this video to try them out with me. As we speak, you can see that the closed captions is putting my words on the screen. Other participants in the call will not see the captions, only the person who has enabled them. Whenever you're done with closed captions, you can just hit the button again to disable it. There are currently a total of 87 languages for closed captions. We can adjust them in our settings. You will see a little box on the side to adjust the language. In our settings, we can select captions and then select the language we need. Again, we can also make this adjustment in our settings by hitting the three dots, settings, and captions. This is also where we will find the translation. If you need to translate your words or someone else's words from one language to another, you can do so. We are now going to translate my words from English to Dutch. And let's take a look on what that looks like. Once you've made your selection, hit the X and you'll go back to your screen. So now, as I continue to speak, we will see that my words are now in Dutch. But unfortunately, I cannot read Dutch, so I'm going to change it back. To adjust the settings back, I'll hit the options, the three dots, settings, head to captions, and disable the translate. So now that we can see that my words are back in English. As we continue to move over, the next icon is reactions. So as you're in a meeting and you want to give a thumbs up, a heart, a wave, a laugh, a sad face, a hand. So sometimes you may be in a meeting where someone says, "How does that sound? Is this a good plan?" It's great. Or, "Hey everyone, how are you doing?" As many times as you click it, this is how many of that icon or reaction will show. You can also adjust the color here. If you'd prefer to have a natural skin tone instead of the yellow, you can do so. The next icon is to present. If you're in a meeting or teaching a virtual lesson, you can select Present, where this window will pop up and you can present your entire screen, just a window, or a Chrome tab that is currently open. When you're presenting, if you'd like to share a video or anything with audio, you'll want to do a Chrome tab and ensure that the audio is live. Let's take a look of what that would look like. I'm now going to share my screen for a presentation that I have in a different tab. So now anyone in my Google Meet will see this. And on my other screen, as I scroll through, they will see my presentation. Let's take a look at some of the cool things that we can do. Here we can see that we can add stickers. So as you're teaching about a lesson, you can add stickers throughout. We can have a pen and we can write, highlight, or my favorite, disappearing ink, where we can underline, but then it goes away. Where if you just use pen, you will also need to use the eraser. And you can use the eraser on the stickers as well. If you want to adjust your color, you can do so. I'm going to make this one white, and now my disappearing ink. So I can say, hey, this is what we're going over. If you prefer to add arrows, you can hit lines and shapes, create an arrow. Hey, look at this. We can go right to the eraser and remove those, or you can just hit clear all. If you want to add a sticky note for maybe your presentation to remind someone of something or to have a note, you can do so. We can hit clear all to remove that, or just delete. We can add text boxes, and then when you're done, we can hit stop. Another great thing that we now have is to zoom and scroll in your presentation. Let's take a look at what that could look like. I'm going to switch to a different presentation. I've now switched to my biodiversity presentation. If you look here, you can also see that I can switch from one Google slide to another in my Google Meet. So as I scroll through, I can teach without having to jump to my other screen. Now let's walk back through using the scroll and zoom option. So as we select these little arrows here, it'll ask us if we want to try it. So while I'm in my Meet, I can use my mouse and scroll back and forth by using the little wheel on my mouse. You can also do this by using your arrow keys. Every time I hit my right arrow key, the next part of my slide goes through. If I hit my left arrow key, things go back. If you don't like using this to scroll back and forth, you can also use the numbers here. Again, I can use the wheel on my mouse to move forward, or the arrows on my computer, or the arrows on my screen. Back on my slides, if I'm back into edit mode, I can see that the zoom in and out is now there. Let's take a look at what that would look like on maybe a worksheet. Now let's take a look at this water cycle activity I have for my students. If we're in a virtual lesson, I can zoom in to what part I want them to look at first, which is going to be labeling the water cycle. When presenting your entire screen, you will not have the zoom in and out option like you do when you just share a tab. If I'm walking my team through a document everyone must sign, I can present the document and then zoom in and I can say, hey everybody, this is what we're signing, this is what we're agreeing to, so that everyone can see that. We can zoom in, we can zoom out, and I can scroll with my mouse. If I want to highlight some important parts, I can hit disappearing ink and say, hey, just so we all are clear, pineapple does belong on pizza. And then that will disappear. Again, we can use the zoom in and out from the Google Meet screen directly if we are sharing or presenting the tab only. When you're done presenting, you can hit stop presenting, or if you need to present a different tab, we can hit present something else, and we'll go right back to whatever tab that is that we need to present. And again, if you are presenting a slideshow in Google Slides, you can hit Start Slideshow right from your Google Meet. You'll also see right here on the three dots the option to add a co-presenter. If you add a co-presenter, they can also help with your presentation. They can add arrows, take notes, highlight, all of these things that you can do. We'll walk through how to add those people in just a moment. If you have speaker notes, those will pop up here just for you. You can hide our speaker notes. If you want to share your presentation or your document in chat, just hit that, share in chat, and then now in the chat, there is your document. We can even pin it so it stays there. And this is our actual slide presentation. And then of course you can exit the slideshow when you're ready. You can also stop presenting by selecting the stop presenting at the top. Right next to present now, we have raise hand. This is a great tool for if you have multiple students or colleagues in a meeting and you're going to be having discussions. This allows everyone to have a chance to talk without talking over each other. As you can see, when my hand is raised, you will see the name and a little hand right here. You'll also see that right here when you click on the people icon on the bottom corner and that there is a hand raised. If I put my hand back down, all of that goes away. As we continue to move over to the right, we'll see our next option is more options. Once we click on the three dots, you will see your other options for your Google Meet. At the top, we have Manage Recording. If you want to have a recording of maybe a lesson that you want to share with your students or a training session that you want to give a recording to after the training is over, this is a great tool to use. So let's walk through how we can make those recordings. After we hit Manage Recording, we'll see this box right here. This box will allow us to select for captions and to also start a transcript if we'd like. If not, you can just hit Start Recording. When you hit Start Recording, you'll get a message to let everybody in your Meet know, hey, this is going to be recorded. Once you're ready, hit Start. We will see at the top corner that we are recording. Everyone in your Meet should see that too. And then you can continue to have your Meet just like normal. And then when you're done, you'll hit Stop Recording and you'll have a recording in your Google Drive. We'll take a look at what that looks like in just a moment. We can hit Stop Recording. It'll ask us if we're sure, and then we will see that the recording has stopped. You can stop and start recordings as many times as you need to. In just a moment, we'll take a look at what that meeting recording in our drive will look like, but let's keep going. Back in our More options, you'll see at the bottom is your settings. Again, this is where we can make adjustments to our microphone to ensure that we have the correct microphone and speakers or headset selected. We can also go to General and make some other adjustments, such as leave empty calls, which means if you are in a Google Meet and no one else has joined you, do you want that meet to give you a pop-up to end or just automatically stay in it like I am now? So even though there's no one in my Google Meet but me, I have this disabled so it does not ask to end the meet. I also disable this one, raise your hand automatically. If you have many people in your Meet, you may want to just do the raise hand option instead of having a little palm up on the camera. And then again, we have our captions where we can select the language, our translate, and then our reactions. The little emojis that we see at the bottom, if you do not want to enable those, you can disable this so that the reactions will not appear. You can also disable the animations and the sound. I like to disable the sound so that when multiple people use the reactions, I don't have to hear it as I'm speaking or teaching. The next option is to use phone for audio. This is a great option if you need to be on the go, such as maybe you want to be in a meeting and you're in your car and you need to be hands-free. We can select the use phone audio option and enter a phone number. And then you will see the call me option. And then it's going to actually call and you have to answer. Since this is not a phone number, we cannot do that. Just like at the bottom, you can adjust or turn on your captions here. This is where we can apply the visual effects to create a background, upload a background, or to select a new one. And then next we have our picture in picture. This allows us to still have the Meet open even when we're doing other things. So we can now see the Meet down here at the bottom. I can turn my camera off and on, my mic, raise my hand, but I can still hop over and open up a presentation if I need to. So if I'm teaching a virtual lesson and we are going to play Jeopardy, I can do this and have this on my screen, and I can even still present if I need to and not have to worry about having my Meet and my slides open on the same screen. And then whenever I'm ready, I can go back to tab, and here we are. This is also where you can make your Meet the full screen. Here in the More options is where you'll find the Change Layout option for your Google Meet as well to adjust how the tiles and others look in your Meet. We'll dive into this a little bit more when people join our Google Meet. There's a couple different ways that we can invite or add people to this Meet. Just like before, we said we can copy the link and send that. We can also head over here and select People. In the Peoples tab, we can hit Add People and start typing in names. Once we find who we'd like to invite, we can select their email and send an email. If you have a Google Classroom, you can also head over to your Google Classroom and again notice how the picture in picture pops over here and hit Generate Link. This is how we make it visible to our students. And if you need to copy it, reset it, or even remove it, you can do so with this down arrow. Keep in mind you should reset your Google Meet link for your classroom every time you have a new session, which means every time you're going to go back into the Meet, you should reset it for a new one. If you want to copy it and send it to other teachers or put it in a chat or an email, you can do so as well. Yep, we'd like to replace it. Hit reset. And here we go. It's not visible to students, so we'll need to manage visible to students. Done. Now this will allow for any of the students in my class to join. Let's take a look at what that looks like. Your students will see the join option just like you do in your Google class. It's important to note that a teacher must join the meet first. So we'll go ahead and hop in so our students can. We'll hit join now, and then any students waiting can also pop in. So now we can see that we have one student in here. In our people tab, we can see that we have someone else in our meet. This is also where you will mute all. If you have people talking and you need to mute them, you can do so here. If you want to make someone a co-host so they can also present and have the same host controls as you, you'll select add as a co-host. Now, I would never select for a student to be a co-host. I would ensure that it is an employee or staff member. We can now see that I've had a few students hop into my Google Meet. So when we select the People tab, we can see who's in here. As you can see, not everyone is muted, so we can select Mute All. Now all are muted. If you do not want people to enable their microphone, if you want them to stay muted, select this. I want people to be able to unmute and speak when they need. And again, all of these people have access because it's in my Google Classroom. As we can see, when I hop from one page to another, we have the picture-in-picture again. Let's take a look at some of the other settings now that we have people in here. Again, we can change the layout to just sidebar, so it's going to show who's ever speaking or whoever is first. Spotlight, if we select the hide tiles without video option, we can see myself here and then everyone that's hidden, which is everybody here in the meet. I'm going to go ahead and disable that. And again, if you need to add people based on the link, just select the I and copy joining info to send that out. Let's head over to the chat. So we can put documents in here, we can put links for different things, different assignments, whatever you need, you can go ahead and put that here. You can just enter hi, you can pin messages, and the people in your meet can also chat back and respond to your messages. If I want to share my slideshow about biodiversity, again, I can select that and put it here and pin the message. That way, anyone has access to it in my Google Meet. As we continue to go over to the right, we have activities. You can see what are the activities or things we can do in our Meet. Just like before, here's your transcripts. You can access that also in your settings and other options, along with recordings. But we can see here we also have question and answer, polls, live streaming, and breakout rooms. Let's start with breakout rooms. Breakout rooms is a way for us to put everyone in the Meet in little individual rooms. This might be great for a project or a small group activity where you want people to work in small groups, but not everybody needs to be in the same meet, or discussion topics because one meet could get very loud and hectic. You can put them in different groups. As you can see, this is everyone that's been invited to the Google Meet. Not everyone has signed in. So these are some of my students that haven't signed in yet. But everyone that has the green little circle is currently in the Meet. Let's walk through what those breakout rooms look like. You can create multiple rooms. We could do 3 rooms. We can go all the way up to 20. We can go up to as many as we need. I'm going to just stick with 2. You can set a timer. If we set a timer, at the end of that 30 minutes, everyone that's in a different breakout room will go back. If you do not want to manually assign the people in your Meet to a breakout room, you can hit shuffle, or you can grab them and drop them. So we can now see there's 3 in here, 2 in here, or we can leave 1 in the main and then 2 in the breakout rooms. And you can shuffle these up however you'd like. And then when you're ready, we'll go ahead and hit open rooms. Anyone that you're putting into a breakout room, it will ask if they want to join the breakout room. So you will need to ensure that they hit join. You'll see over on the right that as the names light up, they are in their breakout rooms. So I am here alone in the main where these folks are in their breakout room. At any point in time, I can hop in the breakout room with them to see how things are going. And while in the breakout room, we can see how much longer they'll be in here. So we still have 29 minutes before it's ended. If I want to leave and head back to the main call, I can hit leave. If the full 30 minutes are not needed, we can also hit close rooms, and this will close all the rooms automatically. The recipients will need to hit return to main call. You can also see there's a countdown that the rooms are ending. This gives everybody about 10 seconds to head back to the main call. If they do not select to join back, they will be forced back. At the end of your Google Meet, you will also get a report of the meeting attendance and the breakout room attendance. That will go directly into your Google Drive. In activities, you'll also have the option for live streaming. We can ask a poll question. You can ask questions regarding your lessons or just opinions or even icebreakers. So we're going to ask what is their favorite season. And then you can select for the poll to show their names or to not show their names. I'm going to hit save, and then we're going to see what options we have. After you hit save, please be sure to hit launch. I'm also going to make the results available to everyone. Once it's live, anyone in your Google Meet will see it in their activities. They will need to select the activities icon to answer. When you're done, you can select to end the poll. This will still show the results, but no one can make any more votes. Next, you have your question and answer. I like to enable the question and answer sessions so that I can see questions without people having to always raise their hand. And you can also sort your questions by pending, which are the questions you haven't answered, oldest, newest, and the most popular. Finally, let's head over to host controls. This is probably the most important part of our Google Meet. This allows us to enable or disable access, video, and so much more. If we want people to be able to turn on their video camera, we'll select this option. This is also where we will manage our breakout room settings. In our meeting access, the host should always join first. If we disable this, this could leave our Google Meet open for students to join without an adult. It is very important that we do not disable this. The person that generates the Google Meet and the host should always be first. We should never have students in a Google Meet without an adult. Please ensure that the host must join before everyone else is enabled. Next, we have our meeting access type. Open is anyone can join at any point in time from anywhere outside of the organization. Trusted means people can hop in, just like everyone on my meet did, without asking for permission because they're part of JSPS. Restricted means anyone coming into the meet must ask me to join. To ensure that you get a attendance report, this must be enabled. It is automatically enabled when you create a meet. This will generate a Google Sheets spreadsheet of everyone that attended and for how long. This is where we can make adjustments to our question and answer, our live stream, and so much more. Now that we've walked through how to use Google Meet, how to engage with reactions, sharing our screen, how to add people, mute them, engage everyone in a chat, it's time to end our meet. When you end your meet, you'll want to select the leave call. You must select end the call for everyone. If you select to just leave the call, this will allow everyone to stay in there. And again, we never want students in a meet without anyone else. Once we select to end the call for everyone, we will return to our Google Meet screen and the meet will be closed for everyone that was in it. After we end our Google Meet, you will get an email like this that shows the polls and your meeting records. After selecting the Google Sheets icon, you'll be redirected to the Google Sheet in your Drive. This will show you the names of those that were in your meet and for how long. We can also see here at the bottom our breakout room attendance. This will show who was in what breakout room and for how long, and when the meeting room was opened and closed by the host. You'll see that your attendance report matches the link of your Google Meet. Again, this is very important that you end the meet yourself so that you get these reports and that you reset your Google Meet link in your classroom so that you get new reports for every day. As we head back to our Google Drive, we can see those attendance reports, the polls report, and the meeting recordings we had. We can take those videos, we can hit share, and copy the link and post that in our Google Classroom. For more IT3 resources, visit vector@jsps.me/teachpoint to view all of our synchronous and asynchronous PD opportunities. You can find this video and so much more on our digital learning channel at jsps.me/digital learning. And view our Technical Learning Center, jsbs.me/TLC, to find a wide variety of resources and videos on Infinite Campus, Google for Education, and so much more. You can also get help from our IT3 Care Center at jsbs.me/help. Here you can chat with someone, submit a ticket, or view their knowledge base.